Everyone, and welcome to another Designed with Nicole Nowosad video for Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine. Today we'll be building a graphic background using papers from a 6x6 paper pad. This one here is from Echo Park. It's called It's a Boy Collection. I'm using a lot of the B-sides from this paper pad for my design, as it is a little boy themed paper pad, but there's a lot of really great patterns on the back side of each of the papers in the paper pad. So you can see here I've just chosen several different papers in various colors and patterns, and I've cut them into squares. I've cut them each into a 2.5-inch square, and then I've cut them down, as you can see, into triangles. So I've just lined them up with the blade on my trimmer and trimmed them down, the squares, into triangles very simply. And now I'm just lining those triangles up along the one side of my page. Because the pattern is going to be pretty bold on the one side of the page, I'm going to leave the other side fairly neutral because we don't want to clutter it up with too much stuff. And now I'm repeating this exact same process. As you can see, I have cut more squares, slightly smaller. This time it's just a 2-inch square, and I'm cutting them into smaller triangles, and then I'm cutting them down just one more step, and I'm just adding those as a second little layer on top of the larger triangles. You can see I really didn't use a ruler to line this up very straight, so you could definitely add a ruler along the right side of those triangles there when you stick everything down, just to make sure. I have one here that I did ahead of time, and I just trimmed off the top and bottom and side edge, and now I'm going to add a little bit of sewing on my sewing machine. You don't really need to add sewing for this project, but I really love that textural look that you get from the stitching on the project. But again, it's not really necessary as long as you just have your adhesive, have everything stuck down. It's really simple. And this looks really great if you do it in other different patterns as well. So if you take a basic circle shape and cut it in half into quarters, for example, you could get the same kind of look, just more circular. And again, you wouldn't need to sew that if you didn't want to, but that would look really fun if you did. And what I like about the 6x6 paper pad is that the patterns are typically 50% smaller. So you get the same patterns as you do in the larger 12x12 sheets, but sometimes depending on the patterns in the paper collection, you might want a little bit of a smaller variation. So that I actually use a lot of 6x6 paper pads for my projects, for my scrapbooking. I find everything's kind of in one little bundle, and there's usually a good A and B side that you can use for different things. So you can see here I'm just starting the embellishing on my project. Like I said earlier, because I've made that graphic background on the left-hand side pretty bold, I'm going to keep things fairly simple on the right-hand side of the page. I have some really great gold stickers here from Chamel, so I'm just going to line those up, as you can see, on my ruler and add them for part of my title. I have die cut the word style. I have just some simple black cardstock on my digital die cut machine, and I'm using foam adhesive just to kind of pop that up a little bit, just so it makes it look a little bit more like a chipboard or sticker die cut. I really like doing that, and I chose a big bold black color because all the other colors in the page are fairly, now I won't say neutral, but fairly tame because they're a bit of a pastel kind of color. So I'm gonna be a little bit more bold with my title, and so that's why I did that in black. And so now is where the fun part begins, is adding in all the embellishments. So I'm going to mainly put some things in behind my photo. I have a clip there kind of to anchor the top corner of my photo, and then I'm just kind of playing around with what other items I have here in my stash. I've collected a little bucket of goodies there, as you can see, and I'm just going to start with sticking my photo down, and not going to add a lot of paper in behind the photo, but I'm just going to layer a bunch of different sticker items using foam adhesive, and I'm just going to add them in and around the side of my photo. Mostly, I think, on the top left corner of the photo, in and around where that binder clip is by Vicky Boutin. But for the most part, I'm going to keep things really light and use a lot of stickers in different shapes. I really love these popped up die cuts by Pink Fresh, so I still haven't given up on those. I think I might go back to them eventually. And these clear tags from Pink Fresh Studio are really fun. They're great for layering, as you can see. Really easy to tuck in and behind and layer above things, even over your photo. So I'm going to add one of those here, and I'm just going to make some adjustments to my stickers. Sometimes stickers aren't super tacky, so you may have to add a little bit of adhesive on your own just to get them to stick where you want them. I find I pick things up a lot of the time and re-stick them, so if you know exactly where you want it and you're not going to move it, go ahead and give it a little bit of extra stick if you can. I'm going to add a little strip of washi tape that I've stapled, and then I actually end up taking it off and adding a puffy heart sticker here by Chamel to the top corner of that. And let's see what else. I wanted to add in some of those gold hearts, but they were just the wrong color of gold, so I went back to my thicker sheet here and I found a gold heart from that, so I added that in. And now I'm just lifting up my photo a little and layering some items in behind. When I usually put my photos on the page, I have foam adhesive in behind them, and I always kind of leave the outside, I would say about 1/4 of an inch all the way around, so that there's no adhesive on that side, so I can tuck things in and out easily. I can add clips to the top, whatever I need to do. Sorry, I jiggled my camera there. So again, I just have more stickers here, more fun little bits that I have for my stash, and I'm just trying to move things around where I want them. And now I've decided I want to use some of these watercolor stickers by Vicky Boudin, so I'm grabbing my watercolors. I have some Prima watercolors in my stash, so I'm not a super big expert at these, but I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of blue to a couple of the stickers and decide what I want to use. So I'm just really adding a small amount and then dabbing it off just to get a lighter color, and then I'm going to go back in and do that again the same time. I thought I would do a little bit of brown on the edges, but that looked not great, so I dabbed that off right away and I went back in with more blue, and I was happy with how that turned out. So you'll be able to see that a little bit better in the close-up at the end of the video. But I'm just going to add that with a little foam adhesive just so it can kind of pop up in behind that heart on the left side of the page. And then I had some leftover blue watercolor left over, so I dipped my wet brush in and I just sprinkled it. You can barely see it right now, but sprinkled it in around my white background just to kind of give it just the tiniest little pop of blue. And then I've decided again to go in and do one more little sticker with some blue. It seems like I've dabbed most of it off, but the watercolor effect is kind of subtle, and that's what I really wanted. I didn't want it to be over blue. And I think for the most part, all I do at this point is add a few little black droplets with my Glimmer Glaze here by Tattered Angels, and that just kind of brings that black from the title into different parts of the page, so it kind of makes a little bit more sense. And I added a few enamel dots after the video was over. So you can see the graphicness of the triangles on the one side of the page is really fun. It's really great for masculine pages. I hope you're going to give this one a try. I promise you it is very, very simple, and I hope you share them with us on our Facebook page. Until next time, I will see you on the blog. Have a great day.